Hey guys, Doctor61 here, and today I'll be doing a Clay Soldiers mod review with Pablo Gamito. He's filming for us today.
Yep, I'm filming.
And so, first we're going to do the crafting recipes. So, for the basic gray clay soldiers, you're just going to put clay and soul sand, soul sand above clay, and that'll give you 4 clay soldiers.
And also all the recipes are here up top, so if you don't know.
Yeah, the recipes will be, they'll show you all the different recipes up top.
Because there's not only one way.
Because
there are many dyes.
You have so many different dyes to dye the soldier, so all you do is you put the soldier anywhere in a crafting table, and you put a certain dye, and that soldier will be dyed that way.
I believe there are 22 different clay soldiers.
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Well, then after there are two special types of clay soldiers that are the melon soldiers and the pumpkin soldiers. They don't have an advantage, but all you do is you put 8 clay soldiers in a crafting table with a melon in the middle, and you'll get some melon soldiers.
They're just special, that's why they take so many clay soldiers to create one.
Then here are the 2 ways that you can undye soldiers. So the first way with the redstone soldier and the water bucket, that's just to dye one, and then the one with all the red soldiers with the water bucket in the middle is just to dye more at a time.
These are examples because you can do it with any clay soldier. Not just
and then you have many different rides, and also the different rides, for example, the dirt horse can be made out of different materials. So the dirt horse is 2 dirt on each side with 1 soul sand on the top row of dirt. It's the same thing for the dirt Pegasus, however you add a feather atop the soul sand.
You can fly.
Then you have geckos. When your clay soldiers ride those, what will happen is they'll be able to climb walls, giving an advantage of height. Also, you have bunnies. So these will make that your clay soldiers can jump high. The last ride is the turtle. These float on water, so it's pretty useful. And then you have the clay nexus. This is kind of a spawner that spawns clay soldiers. And also, it has a limited life, so it can make kind of a battle where it's destroy the other team's flag, kind of. So the flag would be the clay nexus. And so you can decide, and it kind of makes waves of soldiers, so you can decide how many soldiers are spawned every time, and how much time is there between each spawn, and many other characteristics. Also, you have clay cookies to reward your clay soldiers when they're done fighting, so these are just kind of for a fun type of thing. Then you have a clay disruptor. This is very useful. When you right click, it'll kill all the clay soldiers and put them back into clay lumps and their items on the floor. This also works for clay blocks, so you can quickly get clay in the world.
Just find a clay block, right click, and it will break it for you.
So first, we'll go to show you one of the abilities that the clay soldiers have. The clay soldiers are able to use wood they're able to access chests and use wood from it, so now they have little logs on top of their heads, and when they find a place to build that has no one around them, they'll build a house. So also you can use a fishing rod to attract your soldiers to a certain place. So yeah, we can follow this little one. We can also break.
They can also go into chests to take stuff, as they're doing right now, I believe. Or not.
No, they have enough wood, don't worry.
But they can take stuff from chests. And they're not building.
No, we need to wait for a while. Okay, so we'll wait a while to give them time to build their little huts, and we'll
Come back.
show you.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there. He built a hut. So the clay soldiers will build huts to protect themselves. So that's very useful. And also, when the clay soldiers are carrying logs, they're unable to attack other types of clay soldiers that are looking to attack them. And so if they're attacked, they're going to let go of the wood that they have. They're going to put it back on the floor, and they're going to attack the other person. So let's try to get these guys to build another house. Okay, he's probably going to build one.
And Nostrich. Well, as you can see, we also have the Mo Creatures mod installed. We'll probably do a review on that later on.
So let's see, no houses for now. Well, me and Pavi made a little arena so that we could play a game of clay soldiers. And so up here on the chest I'm standing on, we have some turtles and 16 turtles and 64 clay soldiers. And then in the bottom chest, we have a bunch of items which the clay soldiers can use.
And also, clay soldiers stack up by 16 as the turtles, horses, and all those other items.
So all of the items will allow the soldiers to do different things. For example, the sticks, they'll use them as weapons. With leather, they'll make armor. With food, they'll store up health for when they'll need it during battle. With a golden nugget, you can make a king. Then with glowstone, you can make them glow in the dark, which is really cool. With gunpowder, which we didn't put in, they explode, so they launch a lot of other clay soldiers in the air while also killing them. Sugar will give them a speed boost. If you give them some clay, they'll be able to revive their teammates. Then if you give them flint, they'll sharpen their sticks for better attack, and wool for better armor. They can use redstone as blinding power, so they can blind enemies to stop them from attacking for short whiles. Also, they can use the slime balls to glue their enemies onto the floor. Then iron ingots will make them stronger. Gravel will make them be able to throw little rocks at the other soldiers. Also, we have feathers, but we won't be using them. If they're falling from a high distance, and they'll use feathers to fall down so that they don't get hurt. With glass, it'll give them little goggles, which is pretty cool. But also for the people of gravel, they'll be able to shoot further, or to see further. Then, if you give them a diamond, they become super soldiers, so they deal much more damage. We didn't put ender pearls, but these will make it so that they become corrupt and they start attacking you. So that's not really something that you might want to try. Also, you can give them blaze rods so that they can burn other enemies, turning them into brick dolls, which you can't use. If you give your soldiers gas tears, however, they will be able to revive brick dolls. You can use blaze powder as a stronger item instead of blaze rods. Then, if you want, you can use dyes to direct your team towards a certain place because they follow their own color dye. You can give them bowls as shields. Then also something we didn't put in, but if you give them nether wart, all of them turn against each other and even other teams and each other, so they'll kill everyone. However, if you give them wheat, they'll become passive and they won't attack anyone, even if they're attacked. Also, you can give them paper for capes without having to give them diamonds so that they get capes. Then, we didn't add this, but there are snowballs and fireballs, so you can slow other soldiers down and burn them also. If you give them sugar, they get better accuracy for the clay soldiers with gravel. If you give the clay soldiers with shields an iron block, they'll have better shields to protect themselves. Then, if you give them the two types of mushrooms, the brown mushrooms, they'll be able to heal themselves, while the red mushrooms, they'll be able to poison the other teams. If you give the king a bone, he'll have a better weapon. If you give clay soldiers coal, they'll be able to make enemies burn longer, so that it's much easier to turn them into brick dolls. Then if you give your team some glistering melons, they'll be able to heal their own teammates. Then magma cream will give the same effect as gunpowder. However, the explosion won't be as big, and also the soldier having the magma cream will have random critical hits. So if he's lucky, he'll be able to do a lot of damage. If you give them lily pads, they'll be able to float in water, but also it gives them these cool pants. You can give them eggs so that they're not as easy to see. You can give them shear blades for weapons,
which is an added item to the mod.
Yes. Also, if you want, you can give them fermented spider eyes, so it'll make them passive. However, if they're attacked, they'll attack, so they won't die if another team finds them. Now, if you give a king a gold block, it'll upgrade his armor, so his crown, his little bone, and his shield. After, if you give them a milk bucket, all of their effects will be cleared. And then, if you want, you can give them bricks, and that'll make the clay soldiers not able to move. So it's good for the ones that have the gravel. You can give them strings that they're more explosion proof, and you can give them wheat seeds so that they for clay zombie protection. And that's all for the items, I think.
And they finished building 2 more houses.
Oh.
One exactly the same, I believe. And another.
The other one is special.
Yeah.
This one, it's more of kind of an army base, not really, but kind of. And so in here they have a chest with some sticks
as weapons,
so that they can fight. So I think 3 already took their sticks because normally there's 13 sticks. So let's get on to the battle.
I will be the red team, and Webster will be the green team.
So we're each going to spawn 64 clay soldiers.
And 16 turtles.
Yes. So 16 turtles and 64 clay soldiers. You can spawn them on the walls also.
2, 3, 4. Okay. And for some reason they're attacking each other. Oh no, never mind.
No, they're just grabbing items from the chest.
And my 16 turtles. Okay, so.
Yeah, the texture kind of glitches.
Now we will open the gates, right?
Not
ready?
yet. We need to give them a little moment so they can grab their items.
Okay, they're going slow. No. As you can see, they're taking stuff from the chest. So things are just disappearing randomly like that.
So, are you ready?
Okay, let's open the gates.
So,
Show you.
I'll put my fishing rod in the middle to attract them. And now, let's open the gates.
Oh, so many items are lost. I'm taking it. Oops. No, not again. Well, I'm viewing. Hope he dies soon. Die. I don't want to
He's
stay in your view.
immobilized, so.
Die. Oh, finally. Let me just drop this. They can have more things. It's just a diamond. Let's see whose team will win. Well, as you can see, it's pretty fun. Have so many left though. You have so many turtles to turtle.
Well, right now they're respawning all of them because of the clay.
Oh yeah. Well, I lost.
Also, the special types of soldiers, for example, the redstone soldiers, which I just spawned. What's really cool is that some of them will look like the redstone when it's on, and some of them will look like the redstone when it's off.
And some of them will look like a human. Once in a while.
Oh yeah, when we were testing first, a few minutes ago before we started the video, I spawned one of the redstone soldiers, and for some reason, one of them looked like Zephos from the Oddcast.
Yeah, that was sort of weird.
Please comment if you see anything weird like that. Also, for example, the pumpkin soldiers, which I just spawned, these guys also have two different skins. They have the jack-o'-lantern skin and the pumpkin skin. So they also have two types of skin. And so I think this is it for the mod.
So also, if you want to download it, I'm going to put the link in the description, and up top just click the link and you can see a tutorial on how to install the mod. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and bye.